I've got a bunch of whiskeys in my collection right now, and as any good parent does, I gotta pick my favorite. Just kidding. But seriously, I have 10 whiskeys I gotta pick out of my collection today that are my current favorites. Doesn't mean they're most expensive, but the ones that I reach for the most or am most proud of to have in my collection. So let's get into these 10 whiskeys. All right, first up, I'm gonna go with a little guy, the 500 milliliter Edradour 13 Chardonnay cask matured. Now, I love Edradour, you guys know that. Highland Scotch, 60.7%. The SFTC here stands for straight from the cask, and I love this. Review in the description down below. I love this whiskey. I love Edradour in general, but this one specifically is very bright. It's very citrusy, but on the back half of the finish and the palate, there's like this little charcoaly rubber note that I think is necessary to be there, and it brings everything together. Otherwise, it'd be too fruity and too sweet, and it wouldn't be as good or as balanced and complex. So that little ashy note sets this apart. I think this is really good. If you have not gotten Edradour yet, I'm gonna keep saying it. Go try Edradour. They are very good. But of my collection, this is a very good bottle. I got this on whiskeyauction.com. You're not gonna really find this that often, so I had to get it, but there's number one. Let's stay in Scotland. We got a lowland one here. Bladnoch 17 California red wine finish. My goodness. Review down below. This is 46.7% alcohol, and my goodness, this thing is flavorful. Normally, if you hear about lowland, you're thinking about Auchentoshan, and I think because of the fact they're triple distilled, they don't have a whole lot of flavor going on. They're very, very smooth, but not a whole lot of flavor. This thing breaks that mold for me. This is now my favorite lowland distillery. Bladnoch is great. Again, I got this on whiskeyauction.com, so I have not seen this out in the wild in the States, at least where I look. So if you can find this, jump on it. It's very good. Very, very, very fruity, but also nice caramel spice notes that really like help bring out the fruit and kind of like balance that out into a nice little fruity sweet bouquet. Very, very good. And it makes me want to go out and find more Bladnoch because all the lowlands that I'm able to find are Auchentoshan, and they're fine, they're good. I think they're good starter whiskeys, but a little more flavor here, and I really did enjoy this. And I think MSRP here, for me, I think I got it for like 150 euros. I don't remember, it was a while ago when I bought this, but it's still very, very good. That's number two. Okay, number three, our first bourbon. This is Booker's. Now, if you know anything about Booker's, they're rare, but also they are uncut, unfiltered, and barrel proof. So I love me some high proof whiskeys, and this one comes in at 63.3% alcohol. It is the 2023-03 release. It's called a Mighty Fine Batch. Now, if you've noticed, I have not opened this yet, so I can't talk about the flavor yet. However, these are hard to find, and at least where I am, it's even harder to find because where I'm near DC and they get everything. But went to a store, they had two left. I got it for about 100 bucks. That's not bad. I think MSRP probably runs around 90, so a little higher, but not terrible. And I'm proud of this bottle because it's just hard for me to find these things. So I saw it, I just jumped on it. Now, I've heard a lot of good things about Booker's. They are owned by Jim Beam, so this is a Jim Beam product. So I'm very excited. This is actually 7 years, 1 month, and 10 days old. And we get into the review whenever I do this. They have a nice card with a lot more info on it. It's super cool. But here, number three, there's Booker's. Okay, number four, another bourbon, might as well. 1792 full proof. My goodness, I have talked a lot about this in recent videos, and this thing is very good. And if you've watched me for a while, you know I love Old Forester 1920 Prohibition, and this one beat it. It is so good. 125 proof. It's very hard to find is the only downside of this bottle, but a buddy of mine sold it to me, thank God, because he doesn't like it, which you're crazy by the way, but so good, so flavorful. It has so much thickness and richness to its flavor. It is very fruity, a lot of caramel, a lot of spices, but nothing jumps out too bad. And even though it's 125 proof, it is still very good. And that finish lasts so long, it leaves a film on your tongue. MSRP is like 65, 70 bucks. But I don't know if shops are selling it for that because I got it from somebody who sold it for me for that price, just like an FYI. And I know they're really hard to find, but if you can find it, my goodness, this is a very, very good bourbon. I love this thing. Number four. Number five, I'm gonna stay in the US. We got Balcones 5-year. Now, I got this bottle from the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. Contrary to their name, they do more than Scotch. They go stuff from the US, Canada, Ireland, Japan, a lot of places. So this one here is called Wild Stallion. It is a 130 proof, very big bomb. It is the actually highest proof whiskey I currently have on my shelves. Now, this is finished in ex-apple brandy barrels, and that I just had to buy it with that. I've had a couple of sips here. It is very hot, but it's pretty tart. It kind of tastes like the apple skins rolled in caramel. Not the apple meat, you know, it's not as sweet there. It's very, very tart. It's got that caramel aspect to it as well, and it hasn't gotten a lot of oxygen quite yet, so it hasn't quite mellowed out to what I'm hoping it to be, but it is still a very unique bottle, and I like this in my top 10 because it is a very unique bottle. A 5-year Balcones, which is very hard for me to find. That's a Texas single malt. I haven't been able to find any other bottles near me, so seeing that online and seeing it was finished in apple brandy, super unique, super cool. Number 5. Okay, number 6. The rest I have are all scotches, just so you know, but we're gonna go back to Campbelltown. We got Springbank 18. Now, this is a very awesome bottle to find because the Springbank market is kind of like the bourbon market, and it's just kind of insane. So this bottle was $260, very hard to find. And I only have it in this list because it is just a Springbank. It's the only one I currently have in my collection. But I will say the taste and the profile wise isn't the greatest. I actually would say that 15 is probably better than this. This is the 2023 release. It is a vatting of 65% sherry, 20% rum, and 15% ex-bourbon. And man, it is good, but it's not as good as the price tag and the availability says so. So this is in my top 10 because it's a Springbank. And for me, it's like the holy grail of Campbelltown, trying to find them, but I will say this let me down a little bit, just a little bit. If I could find the 15, maybe cast strength stuff, that would be even better to find, but currently, this is the best Campbelltown I have on my shelf, so there's number 6. Okay, number 7, in Island Scotch, we got Arran 21. I love this bottle. I bought it for my birthday last year, and I'm scared to drink it. It's almost done, and I'm very sad, but this spent 21 years entirely in ex Oloroso barrels, and my goodness. This is basically orange candies. The orange chocolate candies that you could get when you open them up, has little wedges. That's exactly what's in this bottle. And every time I've had a nice get together or outing and I've had bottled whiskey, I've had a little bit of pour for people with this, people that maybe don't like scotch, and they have raved about this bottle. This bottle is so good. It's smooth. It's 46% alcohol, so it's not a huge ABV bomb, and it's just perfect. Seriously, Arran is a very good distillery, and I'm putting Island as its own region. It's not recognized as its own region, but you know what? It's very good. So anyway, if you haven't had an Arran, go find some. Anyone will do. This one's about $270, so maybe wait unless you know you want it, but it's very good. But there's number 7. And for number 8, I have to have my peat bomb here. Bruichladdich, Octomore 13.1, 59.2% alcohol, 137.2 ppms. Very, very good. It's 5 years, it's ex-bourbon. These are limited release, so this was about $260, $270, but man, if you guys like your peat and you like Bruichladdich, Octomore is the ticket. I cannot wait for the 15.3 coming out this year. It's gonna be hard to find, but this one, man. Now, don't let the ppm scare you, because Bruichladdich has a lot of awesome stuff when they distill, and there's a lot of complex flavors in here. It actually tastes less peaty than like an Ardbeg 10 or even a Laphroaig 10 sometimes. So there's a lot of nice zesty, honey, citrus, leathery oak spice going on in here. It's not just the smoke. This is a very, very good product, and I love Bruichladdich, but there's number 8, Octomore 13.1. Okay, number 9, Laphroaig 25, 2019 release. Review, description down below. 51% alcohol. My goodness, this is my current favorite Isla. It is a creamy vanilla dream. Very, very soft smoke here. I will say though, it was $650. I bought it last year, but I love this bottle. It's about half done now. I'm very sad about that, so I'm drinking it very slowly, but this is my favorite Isla. It is the creamiest, smoothest, just most delightful dram I've had from Isla ever. Very, very good. And this isn't my favorite bottle in my collection right now, but it's definitely my favorite Isla I've ever had currently. So there's number 9, Laphroaig 25. And last but not least, my Balblair 33 year. All ex-bourbon, 62.3% alcohol. Review down below. This whiskey is perfect. Spoilers, I gave this a perfect score. It is impeccable. It is so rich, it is so thick, the finish is perfect. So many notes, very fruity, very spicy, very sweet at the same time, even though there was no really like sherry influence in this particular vatting. It is so freaking good. It is the oldest one I've had. Basically $1,000. I don't normally spend that much money, but I sold my house, wanted to celebrate, but this whiskey is so freaking good. And it's actually my first Balblair. And Balblair distillate, super good. I had a 15 over there, I gotta open up soon, but man, this is a very good whiskey. This is currently my favorite whiskey. I know it's in no particular order, but I have to finish with a 33-year Balblair. So this is my current favorite bottle in my collection. So there you go. Well, there you have it. My top 10 whiskeys I currently have in my collection. The last video I did with this, the collection was much different. So I'm gonna keep doing these, get more whiskey. So if you've had any of these, comment down below. I wanna know. If you have your own top 10 list you wanna share with me, down below as well. I wanna hear from you guys. Anyway, like these videos, give it a like, subscribe yet, consider doing so, and I'll see you guys next time.